Hi everybody, we're at our first set of TD-SIG pop-up talks, and our first our first speaker is Nicola Meldrum.
Am I on?
Yep.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicola Meldrum, the talker, as Tyson just said. And in line with the little talk I did at Innovate ELT a couple of years ago, I've got my notes on a very small piece of paper, as we're not allowed PowerPoint, and I've got 5 minutes. So I thought in these 5 minutes I'd try and share two simple ideas which will help any teacher in any context, regardless of who they teach or what they teach, to develop. As you may know, if you read our blog, the blog I write with Mark McKinnon, I love making up acronyms. And the two ideas have the following acronyms, and I'd like the people around here to try and guess what they stand for. The first acronym is FFP. Any ideas? No. Chris, you might. A word you really like is
feedback.
Feedback.
Yes.
4.
No.
Participants.
Okay, I'm going to kill it. I've only got 5 minutes. It's feedback-focused planning. And I'm a teacher trainer, and in all the years that I've been observing, I find that feedback is something that's kind of, it's not considered at the planning stage. It kind of happens in the class without much foreplanning. And I think this is problematic for two reasons. I think sometimes teachers can avoid more complex language to work on if they're not prepared. So if they decide in the moment that they're going to do some error correction, they're listening to the students, they might avoid those more complex language points, but which are useful language points and need some work. The second is that they don't give enough time to feedback, and they don't really work with the language that their learners are generating, and so they're not really working at that language at the point of need. So if we spend more time planning, when we're planning, if we spend more time thinking about feedback and give equal weight to the feedback, how we're going to do it, what we're going to feedback on, and we start anticipating this, then we're going to be much more effective at working with our learners in language. And how do we do this? Well, we start visualizing our learners in the class when they're doing the speaking activities, when they're on task. We start hearing what they're saying, and that will help us to anticipate the gaps that they might have that we can help fill, the errors that they might make. And also, if you think about those strong learners in the class, the great things that they might say that we can share with the less strong or the weaker learners. So that's why FFP can help your development. Related to this is the second acronym, which is TLT. Anyone? TLT?
Teacher-led. Teacher. Learning. Listening.
Teacher language. Oh, teacher listening.
TLT.
Training.
Time.
Ah.
Yes.
Teacher listening time.
So everyone has heard, you've all heard of STT. Yeah. STT is drummed into us from day one. Student talking time. Need to increase student talking time, reduce teacher talking time. But what about if we started thinking about STT as TLT, teacher listening time? And I think this might help us pay more attention when our students are doing something. This is when we should be busiest. So many times I see teachers set up a speaking activity, and then they kind of go and fix up their papers or do something to prepare for the next stage of the lesson, because they see that it is valuable that their students are speaking, but maybe they don't see it as the time when they are busiest. And I think those two things come together, and we need to start thinking more about what we're doing when our students are on task, and we need to start anticipating what we're going to listen for. And if we listen more and change from STT to TLT, we're going to get to know our learners better, and we're going to be more prepared for those feedback moments. So I'm just going to refer to a little quote from a trainee that I had called Melody. And she said that TLT and FFP are like well-loved twins. They love to be together, and one is enhanced by the other. And students tell me time and time again that giving them space to be listened to in all lesson stages, including feedback, has improved their pronunciation, which I'm passionate about, much to their delight. Following FFP properly is a real challenge, but I do feel that when I try my lessons, they are richer for it. And one more little anecdote is Tamara Parsons, another trainee that I worked with on the dipped TESOL at Oxford TEFL, says not using this approach means you are merely teaching a lesson, not the learners. And that's it.
Thank you very much.
5 minutes.
Well done. Perfect.
Hey.